I wanted to test you tonight. I wanted to give you a test to see. Look at me. All right. Follow my finger just to try to help you with your health. No digging in your nose or anything like that. Okay. All right. Olive, I told you no more. Don't bring another bug in here or else. All right. And excuse me. I told them to act right. We got company. Okay. So I just wanted you to read what I'm saying. All right. I said, take care of your kidneys or they'll take care of you. I don't know if you can see that on the chart or read that on the chart or how your eyesight is, but I hope you able to get the message. All right. So y'all act right. We got company because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Well, I say welcome on tonight. Before I get started and introduce my guest, I just want to thank you for tuning in and looking in and hanging with your girl, Lisa, who's going to give you the 411. I wanted to pay tribute or give love out to Angela L. Davis family. She passed away about 2 Sundays ago. She was a true, real warrior, a general, a powerhouse in the kidney kingdom down here, and I'm sure she's a good one up there with the Lord. So blessings to her family, prayers to her family and to her business. Kidney's sake. For Kidney's Sake is having an event on the 28th called Pink Pearl, and you need to register. It's free for all transplant and dialysis patients, but if you have a guest, it's about $25, but it is a great event. It's food, it's neck massages, it's vendors going to be there. Everything is just going to be wonderful and excellent. I had a great time last year. The number is 877-273 8770, or you can email info. Now you know I ain't got my reading glasses on. Info for Kidney's Sakes, the number 4 kidneys with an S, sake SAKE.org. All right, so come on out and let's have fun. Let's have a blast. So let me introduce my guest. My guest is such a warrior. All right, she's not only a warrior, she's a survivor. She's a survivor and a slayer at the same time. She's a registered nurse. She's a powerhouse. And I'm going to tell you right now, her name is Vanessa Orr. Okay. And I am glad to have this woman on my show. When I heard her story and learned from her family, I had to have her. I had to know her. So Vanessa, welcome to the Lisa Baxter Show.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It's a pleasure.
I am so glad. I am so glad. You don't look like what you've been through, girl.
Oh, God is good. God is definitely good. All the
Oh,
time.
oh
He's
yes.
good.
He's very
Yeah.
good. He's excellent. He's awesome. He's all that.
Awesome.
I don't have enough adjectives to describe him. That's just how wonderful and great and fantabulous he really is. So,
Yes.
welcome again on the show. All right. I want you to be able to tell it. Tell it. Don't leave nothing. Don't hang nothing back. All right.
Okay.
How
Very
did
well.
your journey begin?
Okay, well, I was born with an autoimmune disease called glomerulosclerosis. The full term is focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. And the
Mm,
glomerulus is the building block of the kidneys. And what happens is the glomerulus hardens. And as they harden, obviously the kidney fails. And I was obviously born with it, but I wasn't diagnosed until like my late 30s.
mm,
And it was so funny. The doctor said that, your creatinine is increasing
mm.
and it can happen over a long period of time or it can
Yes.
happen quickly. And sure enough, it was my 40th birthday and I started feeling ill. I was away, I was traveling and couldn't walk, had problems walking. And that was August. October, like I said, I'm a nurse, labor and delivery. I couldn't even run up and down the halls for the deliveries. I would
Wow.
make it, but when the shift ended, I literally had to sit for another hour so my legs can get together. And I finally went to the doctor, and he said, "No, your kidney level, your creatinine is through the roof. You need to
Wow.
go." And it was on a. It was. I'm not lying to you. I went, and that was on a Monday.
Uh-huh.
I had I had the fistula put in on that Tuesday. On
Mm.
that Friday, I had a permacath put in, and I was dialyzed that same day. Within a
Wow.
week's time, from the time that he said your kidney was failed and you needed dialysis, to the time I had dialysis was literally from a Monday to a Friday. For the first 7 years, so that was 2006. For the first 7 years, I had no issues. Honestly, I was still working. Well, after 6 months, because just that initial adjustment to
Yes.
dialyzing
Mm.
was like 6 months. I went back to work, working, traveling. Traveling wasn't difficult because what they would do is whatever city you would go to, they would find the nearest dialysis center to do a
Yes.
hemodialysis. So
Yeah.
that was fine. So I was doing that. The seventh year, almost to the date, I'll never forget. I was at my grandma's house and I reached up to check her cable box, and my orange shirt was full of blood. My left arm, the fistula had ruptured, but I didn't
Mm.
even feel it.
Wow.
And I ended up at Brookdale Hospital in Brooklyn, New York, in the trauma room. They
Ooh,
stitched me up. I was
Jesus.
fine. They checked it out. That was in March. It happened again in April.
Wow.
No, it was April. It happened a month later, for 3 months consecutively in June. So finally, they put back another permacath, which is what you see here, which I have presently. I'll get to
Uh-huh.
that. And they put another permacath in, and they put a fistula in my right arm.
Mm.
So after a few weeks, they started to use the fistula. However, I was having periods where I could not lift my legs. And on a Sunday, I was in church. It was in June,
Mm.
and I was in church, and I couldn't walk. We came to the Methodist in Brooklyn, New York, again,
Uh-huh.
and what they did was they saw that my potassium level had risen, but they said because I was going to dialysis on that Monday, which is
Right.
my dialysis day, that I would
Uh-huh.
be fine. That I'll dialyze and the potassium would go back down. Well, it
Yes.
did go down only for a little while
Mm.
because by Tuesday evening, I was not feeling well. That Wednesday, I couldn't walk. I
Wow.
couldn't lift. I was losing all muscle tone, all muscle activity because my potassium level was so high. By the time they got to my apartment, I was like a fish. I could not move. They
Oh,
got me into the ambulance. By the time they got me there, they of course they have to draw bloods. The levels I started to cold. I went to cardiac arrest.
the blood.
So
What? Mm.
yes, yes. And my heart just was it stopped. It's your muscle. Your heart is a muscle. Your
Yes. Yes.
potassium works with muscles. So of course, thank God, they brought me back that day. They dialyzed me
Uh-huh.
through my groin area, and
Oh, you ain't got.
did that. Yeah, so I did that
Okay.
for 6 weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
my nephrologist said you need to do it peritoneal dialysis. So I did that for 3 years, which made a total of dialysis for 10 years. And on September 21st, 2016, they called me to come to the hospital. But mind you, I have been called May of no June of 2016,
Uh-huh.
July of 2016, and as a matter of fact, on my birthday, August 5th of 2016, I was hanging out. They was like, "Come, we have a kidney." I
Uh-huh.
went there.
All
We
right.
left. Go to Cornell. Got
Mm-hmm.
to Cornell. Got prepped and everything. The kidney was infected. So
Oh.
I went from a high back down to a low. So I said, you
Mm.
know what? I'm not doing this again. I've been here every month. Every month they was calling me. We got a kidney. We got a kidney. We got a kidney. But that August, I made it literally to the hospital.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
prepped and everything. Okay. Didn't work. I left.
Okay,
September,
wait, Vanessa, hold it. So you said you wasn't doing it anymore. That means you must have been disappointed. You must have been upset.
I was not to mention upset, having your family and friends all excited and come to the hospital on my birthday. It was like, oh, it's a great birthday present.
Yeah,
Everybody came and everybody's waiting. And I told them, I said, leave because this was like that night. And they said I wasn't going into surgery until
yeah,
7 o'clock that morning. So I said, leave because what are you going to do? Just wait? Just
yeah.
leave. So they
Right,
left. And so when I called, I told them I would call when the surgery was over and you can come. When I
right.
called, it was like, how you feeling? I was crying. I'm like, come get me, come get me. They came
Yes.
to get me. So September 20th, they called me. They told me that they might have a kidney. I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't really think about it. I wasn't getting stressed or excited. Not to
Yeah.
mention, my father was in the ICU
Oh,
at Brookdale. So I
yeah.
was like, whatever. So they called me that day, the 21st. I never forget, I was eating. And it was like, Miss Orr, you need to come. So I was like, I'm coming, I'm coming. So I get in my car. I drive myself. And it was
Wow.
they called me in the car. I said, I'm getting off the FDR at the 61st Street exit. Go to
Yeah.
Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
I parked my car. I barely made it to the unit. They were dressing me, undressing me, starting IV. I was in the hospital at 12:30. I was in the OR at 1:40.
Wow.
I
They were
woke up.
getting there.
That They were waiting. It was like we were waiting, and I was like, I was dragging my feet because I had been through it already. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
not trying. So I woke up that night 11:40. I'll never forget. My aunt was tickling my feet, and she was like, Vanessa. I said, I'm alive. The kidney's in. And she was like, yes. I said to her, God is good. And she goes, all the time. And I said, all the time, God is good. And my other
Amen.
cousin was there too. And he was, asking me, I was feeling fine. I even, when they left, I even got up out the bed because I said, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to go to the bathroom. It was
Oh,
like,
that
Miss
was a good
Store,
thing, right? Oh,
right. But it was only gas. But I was
oh,
up. I was
eh,
alert, hyped,
yeah,
whatever. They brought me to the room. I'll never forget. They brought me to the room. I still had a Foley in, the urine catheter,
yes.
and got in the bed. I was wide awake then. And it was like, okay, Miss, so we got to walk. I walked around the hall. I did everything that first day.
Uh-huh.
I was up and about doing whatever. The next
Yeah.
day was
Move back
totally
a little,
different.
Vanessa, so I can see. There you go. I can see your face. There you go. Go ahead.
Uh,
Continue.
the next The next day was like maybe 24, 36 hours later was totally different. I was
Wow.
in pain. I was in pain. And they're giving you all these new meds, these immunosuppressants, and
Of
I mean,
course.
multiple. So I'm
Wow.
going through all of this,
What-
you know,
Wait, how many pills were you taking at the time when they giving you all of these pills and stuff?
about 16 pills twice a day.
Okay,
It was a
I can
lot of,
agree with that. Yes,
it was a lot of pills.
a lot of
And
pills.
still, I wasn't making urine. And it
Uh-huh.
was like, well, that's what we call a kidney that has to be awakened. So
Okay,
I
a
was like, oh,
sleeping kidney, huh?
right, they had to wait.
Mhm.
So now, mind you, I still had a catheter in because, no, I didn't. They had taken out the peritoneal catheter. So
Uh-huh.
now, after the third day, I still wasn't making urine. I had to get another permacath in
Wow.
because
Woo.
they felt I needed, yes. So um, I finally made a very small amount of urine.
Mm.
Like I said, my dad was in the ICU
Yeah.
at Brookdale. I was
Yes.
at Cornell.
Wow.
My dad, I kept telling everybody, tell my dad I got a transplant. Tell my dad I got a transplant. The day
Yes.
I was supposed to, the day I was supposed to come home from Cornell, I got very sick, vomiting and whatever. So they kept me another day.
Yeah.
That day, my father had a went to cardiac arrest and passed away. So I never
Mm.
saw my dad.
I'm sorry.
So
Ooh.
then
Mm.
I went through like this. I was hyped, had to get home, make arrangements, etc. That was on a Thursday.
Wow.
Um, Trying to make arrangements. Saturday ended up back in the hospital.
You were
Okay.
dealing with a lot. That's overdrive. Overdrive, dealing with, him sick, him
Yeah,
passing away. You got a major operation, and now you got to make the plans. Oh man.
it was crazy. It
Yes.
was really crazy. I ended up back in the hospital for 3 or 4 days
Mm.
um, with medication, trying to get the medications adjusted a little bit better,
Uh,
um, and just trying to help me. It was just that whole thing. I came out, uh, my dad's service. Obviously, I couldn't stay because there was so many people,
oh
with
yeah.
the,
The
right.
mask
So,
and everything and the
right.
germs.
Right. So I went to the wake. I left the wake, and then whatever day that was, that following weekend, I ended up in the hospital again.
Whew.
I was in the hospital. I had the surgery in September. I was in the hospital twice again in September, once in
Mm.
October, once in November,
Whew.
and I came and in December, and I was in the hospital in December until I came home on Christmas Day. The kidney was not taking too
Wow.
well. I was still being dialyzed. My last day, I got the kidney in September 21st. I was being dialyzed. My last day was October on Halloween, on
Mm.
Halloween night. And
Wow.
they stopped the dialysis and the kidney was kicking in a little bit. The creatinine only went down. They want your creatinine at zero point 0.5. My creatinine only went down to 2.7.
Mm.
And so they finally, it was around Thanksgiving, they took the permacath out and I was just on the meds. And you go through a period of adjusting your meds. Take this one, add another one, add
Yes.
5 more. It was
Hmm.
just crazy. And
Yeah.
my body was wrecked. I couldn't gain weight. I couldn't keep my blood pressure up. My blood pressure was low. They was giving medication to bring the blood pressure up. Oh, I
Yeah.
was on, oh, everything salty now. Eat this, eat chips, have this, drink.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much water.
All the no's came to yeses just to get that pressure
Just
back up and to adjust you with the meds and everything. Wow, what a roller coaster.
exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. You need to be a pressure to be at least normal to perfuse the new kidney. And
Right.
so obviously the kidney wasn't being perfused well enough. So I'm not putting out enough urine. So the
Hmm.
kidney's not doing well. So at any rate,
Uh-huh.
uh, in January of 2018,
Yeah.
January 23rd,
Mm.
I went into pulmonary edema.
Ooh.
And
Explain what that is.
the valves in my heart, two of them weren't working. So the fluid was backing up and filling my lungs and drowning me. And
Ooh.
literally, I made it to my doorstep. Thank God that night. And
Yes.
I couldn't even get in. I rang the doorbell for my landlord. She came, opened the door. I had enough aeration to have her call 911. I was literally drooling like a dog. They
Wow.
got me in the ambulance, gave me CPAP, get all that pressure, the old chambers, all that pressure's normalized so that I can breathe.
Yes.
I was in Cornell until February 9th when they decided to do the surgery.
Mm.
Well, I had open heart surgery on February 9th. I went into
So
the
accurate. I love it. You gotta know about your health and you educated about your
yeah,
body. Go on, girl, go
yeah.
on.
So
Mm-hmm.
I went into the OR. We were contemplating the whole time that I was in the hospital. They were just trying to decide which would be the best method, what they call a TAVR, which they go through your groin area,
Ooh.
and there's no open heart. They go in, change the valves.
Yes.
But because they needed to do a coronary bypass as well, one of my arteries was clogged, so they needed to go past, do a bypass.
Yes.
So, which they call a cabbage. So they decided it would be best, being that I had multiple things with the heart that needed to be corrected, they would do that, open heart. So after like 3 weeks, we decided February 9th, 7 a.m., I walked into the operating room. Oh God, I think about it and I cry. I walked into the operating
Right.
room
Yes.
to have my aortic valve replaced, my mitral valve repaired,
Yeah.
and a coronary bypass. Apparently, there were multiple complications. I woke up on Palm Sunday, Saturday.
My
I don't remember anything that transpired during that time. I was intubated, which is why I sound like this, because I have right right vocal cord paresis, which means the right vocal cord has been traumatized from the multiple intubations and the long intubations. So my vocal cord doesn't move as it should.
yes.
But
Yes.
when I did wake up and
We
I
were
was
praying for
extubated,
you. Yes. We were
but
praying like crazy.
yes, when I
Shonda.
did,
Yes.
yes, uh, I was having a hard time breathing. I had what they call Klebsiella pneumonia
Mm.
in my left lower lobe, so I had to be reintubated because I couldn't breathe. So they finally took it out. I was very happy, and I started feeling very sick. And I
Yeah.
said, something is wrong. I feel like I have to throw up. Well, I had a massive GI bleed. I literally vomited 1,000 cc's of frank red blood. They put an NG tube, nothing but blood. The
Mm.
next thing I remember waking up, I was intubated again because they had to go in and what they do is they cauterize whatever area in my stomach that was bleeding.
Mm.
So it was like the third time I was intubated. So they took the tube out. I was still having problems breathing. I was on CPAP at night, so I slept with the breathing apparatus
Yes.
on my face. Uh, when I finally like became aware, like more aware, because I was in and out quite a bit. Um, I woke up to due to vasoconstriction, my right fingers had turned black, and all my toes had turned black from
Shonda.
poor perfusion.
Mm.
And they said that I would probably lose my toes and my fingers. So again, because you have to remember, I'm in and out of consciousness, and my
Yeah.
awareness is completely off. So I'm hearing things and not understanding, and everything is happening. And
Yes.
anyway, I end up losing, thank God, only one finger on my right hand, and at that time, and they felt that I was better, so they moved me to what they call acute rehab in Cornell. I was there. I got there on Thursday. Friday, I walked up and down the hall. I hadn't walked, but I walked. God allowed me to walk up and down the hall,
Yeah.
and my family and friends was like shocked. But
Yes.
by
Yes.
Saturday morning, my aunt came and I said, something is wrong. I feel bad. Something
Mm.
is wrong.
My Lord.
And they called everybody over. God is good. I'm telling you, God is good.
Mercy.
And it was all day. And the rehab doctor's like, I don't know too much about the heart. They couldn't even do a 12 lead EKG. So
What?
it was crazy.
And
But God is good.
the rehab didn't know something or couldn't do something?
Let me tell you something. People always think you're a nurse, you're a nurse, you're a nurse, you're a doctor, you're a doctor, you're a doctor. But when you specialize, you
Oh,
specialize. You know your stuff. Do you
come on
understand?
now. Yeah.
Okay? But
Mm-hmm.
God, because I had been on a cardiac unit for like 4 months, the
Yeah.
nurses they came to visit me. And
Wow.
thank God that day, the nurse, like four of them came. And one of them, who was a PA studying to be a physician assistant in cardiac. She did the EKG, and she
Come
looked
on.
at me, and I looked
Wow.
at her, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And she told the doctor to call the cardiac team. I was in complete heart block. They got me downstairs. I will never forget this. They got me downstairs back to the cardiac unit, and the doctor said she's going to die.
Whew. Mm.
I looked at my aunt, and the whole time, because my aunt she was there day and night with me.
Yes,
I
yes.
saw a tear roll down her eye, and a tear. I started to cry myself, and I
Mm.
said, "I don't want to die." And I promise you, how God has an angel.
Oh, yes.
I There was
Move
this
back a
lady,
little. This is
a
getting
nurse,
too good. I'm getting excited. I almost jumped out my chair. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
a nurse who was what we call a floater. She
Yes.
didn't usually work on that unit. She came in and she says, "Do you mind if I pray for you?"
Wow.
And this woman put up a prayer. Me, her, and my aunt. She goes, "You're going to be all right. I'll see you tomorrow." They moved me back to ICU, and she came that morning. It took them from 11:30 to 3:30 in the morning to put an internal pacemaker in. And that's because my blood vessels in my groin area and my neck is so scarred from multiple catheters and etc. It took the doctor 4 hours to get that pacemaker in. My heart rate was at 26 beats per minute. He got it up to 40. So my
Mm.
heart was pacing at 40 beats per minute.
Yeah.
And that morning, that same nurse, I don't even know who she is. And she came in, she goes, "Good morning, Vanessa." She goes, "I told you to be here. You would be here. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Don't
Yes.
worry." She said,
Now.
"God got you.
Whew.
God got you."
Yes.
Oh my God. I was in the
Go
ICU
ahead.
for another 3 weeks. The same nurses coming in. And let me tell you, I cry when I think about all God had his angels there. And my
Sure.
grandmother always taught me, be careful how you treat people. You may be treating an angel unaware.
Come on now. That's the word of
Nurse,
it. Mm-hmm.
a night nurse, I never forget. I thought she didn't like me. And because I never forget, I used to have the suction.
Mm.
They used to have to suction me, and I would moan and groan, and that's the worst. And she
Mm.
said to me, she came in, she goes, there was a note on the board that Vanessa Orr was back in ICU, and I had to come and see you. And I was like, "Thank you." And she goes, "How are you feeling?" I said, "A lot better." She goes, "Do you mind if I pray for you?" And I looked at her,
Getting them prayers
and I
all
don't,
around.
right. And
Yes.
a former coworker that I worked with at St. Vincent was presently working at Cornell, and she
Come
would
on.
come and visit me every day. She was
Woo.
there,
You had
Catholic,
help.
and
Yes.
she said, and she goes, "We all joined hands," and she goes, "God only laid you down in green pastures to restore to
Mm.
your soul."
I
And
love that.
oh my God, and she
Yes.
put up a prayer. Now my Catholic friend was crying. And she goes, "Oh my," we were all crying. And she
Yes.
said her prayer. And I'll never forget, she was drinking a Starbucks coffee. She was coming on a night shift. She
Mm.
said her prayer. She goes, "You'll be okay." Took her coffee and left out the room. And I haven't seen her since.
Yes.
My former coworker, her name is Betty. She was crying. She goes, "Oh my God, Vanessa, was that a prayer?" I said, "Wasn't that a prayer?" And
Yes. The
on my
prayers of the
board,
righteous availeth much. Go on
oh
now.
my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, and on my board in the room, my aunt put, "God got you." And she always wrote on her board, and they never took it off my board.
Mm.
Ness, God got you. And sure
Who's
enough,
that, D?
sure, no, my aunt, her name is LaSherma. We call her
Oh,
Snook.
oh,
Okay.
Snook. Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes. She wrote on my board, and that they never erased it. Never erased it.
Wow.
And then after uh I think it was maybe 3 weeks. I
Mm.
became stable. They sent me back up to rehab, and the
Oh,
doctors there, everybody knew me in the hospital. They were
yes.
like, you were meant to be here.
A
She said,
miracle.
all that you've been through. And they said, after we sent you back down to cardiac ICU, we thought we wouldn't see you again. I said, ha ha, God knows. I said, God knows best. God got me. That was my
Yes.
thing. I said, to this day, anything I wrong, I go, I can't worry because God got me. God
That's
didn't bring
right.
me through all of that. He didn't
Mm.
bring me through all of that for
Yes.
no reason.
No.
Believe me. Believe
Powerful
me.
testimony. Come on.
But when I woke up, I was back on dialysis. As you can see, I have the permacath in my
Yes.
right upper chest because my kidney that was barely making it completely failed during that whole cardiac, situation.
Mm.
And, but I'm here. I'm
Yes, you
here.
are.
I
Yes,
am
you are.
here.
Yes, you
Yes.
are. Well, from your cousin, out there towns, Dee Dee.
Dee
She,
Dee.
right. We call her Dee Dee. You know the nickname. But
Right.
she really had, the intercessors, the whole entire church praying, and we just never forgot it.
Thank
And
God.
you and I kept on the phone once you were
Yes.
talking and
Yes.
praying, and we befriended each other and everything. And I
Yes.
was just waiting till you were comfortable enough to come and tell this story, come and let people know that
Yes.
God is still in the miracle working business.
Oh, yes.
When he got
Oh,
you, he
yes.
got you. He got all of us. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
that's something else. That's
Let
I
me tell
had
you
to have it.
something.
Yes.
All let me say, God has touched my life, and even now, presently, where I am sitting in my bedroom in my apartment, my landlord wanted me out of this apartment.
Say that. I was
Okay,
going into them questions. I
he,
ain't mad. Go ahead.
he she wanted me out. Okay, before I came out the hospital, my aunt, who Snooker, I mentioned, took
Yes.
care of all my business. She wanted to go up on the rent. Now, mind you, I'm on disability, Social Security, because I can't work, unfortunately.
Right.
Um, and she wanted to go up on the rent, okay? And if I couldn't pay the rent, she wanted me to move.
I
And
remember that.
yes, and I actually, when I was in rehab, I was in rehab from May 15th to August 15th. So I
Woo.
was literally out of my apartment from January 23rd, 2018 to August 15th,
Woo.
2018. And God allowed me to walk back up the steps now
Come on now.
by myself and be in my apartment. And I've
Mm-mm-mm.
been here. And during my time in rehab, I came across a program that provides housing stipends for persons with disabilities. And
Right.
I presented this to my landlord, and she absolutely refused.
Say
And
that.
I told her I cannot continue to pay the rent that I'm paying barely, but I
Uh,
can't afford to pay what you're asking. And
yes.
I said, so if you're not going to accept it, then I'm going to have to move. I
Yeah.
said, and Lisa, you and I have talked about trying to
Yeah.
find an apartment that
Oh
I
yeah.
can move so that I can afford.
And
But it's,
resources and stuff. We were working on that together. Move back a little
yes,
bit. I want to see your beautiful eyes. I
thank
ain't
you.
mad at you. Mm.
And and you know what she said to me? And I'm still looking.
It's all right,
I'm
Vanessa.
sorry, careful.
It's all
I'm
right.
still
Let it
looking.
out. I ain't
Well,
mad at you.
I know
I'm
God
feeling
is
it.
going to give me a place. But what God did was he said, you know what? She's trying to do that. I'm going to touch her. She came up to my apartment. It was like that. I came home in August. We went through this from August and September. In October, she came up and I sat down and I talked to her. She even suggested different methods that I should use, which I
Wow.
told her I was unqualified for. She said, well,
Yes.
you know what, Vanessa? You know what? You just stay here and continue to pay what you pay until you find some place to move. And that's why I'm
Amen.
still here. That's why I'm
Wow.
still here.
Yes. Yes. You
God
know,
has, yes,
yeah, when you sick sometime, you get crazy treatment. I mean, because I've gone through the same thing. You know what I mean? When you get somebody that care, and then you get somebody that don't care, and then you get people to try to help, and then you get people that they don't care. They just want their money. You know
that's
what I
it.
mean? So
That's
In
it.
the programs out here, one little thing will make you unqualified.
Yes.
You make too much for
Yes.
this, but not enough for that. So I
Right.
went through some programs myself because I work two jobs. I don't like working no two jobs. I work two jobs. I'm about to go out on disability because I can't. I'm in pain myself. I deal with stuff myself. So I feel your story because I understand, about bills and stuff. And they never want to hear
Yeah.
your story or anything. But when God do something for you, they're sorry that they treated you like that. Trust me, whoever treats you wrong or bad, they will feel it at some point in life. They won't forget it because God
Oh
is
yeah.
going to show them whether they did it or not. He's going to still bless.
Oh
He's going to
yes. Oh
still
yes.
bless.
Oh yes. Because let me tell you, with the income that I have, I still eat. Obviously, as you can see, I eat. My lights and my gas is on.
Come
I
on
got
now.
cable. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? My car still runs.
come on.
God has kept me. God
Yes,
has definitely kept me. And like you said, like you and I can call you and commiserate because we understand. And
that's right.
sometimes I do share with my friends, but they don't understand because they're not walking my walk. You
Right.
understand? And it's
Yes.
sometimes, oh yes, believe me, I get here and I cry, but when I go out my door, I put a smile on my face and I keep moving.
I
I
know
keep
that's
it moving,
right.
you know?
I know
And
that's right. I
everybody,
was hollering
they
the
say,
other day. I know. Yes.
yes, did you try this? Do that. Oh,
Yeah.
you should have been did this. Well, you know what? I should have been. I done did it. I just didn't tell you.
Right.
It ain't work out. But
Yes.
like I said,
So much
I'm serious.
advice. So much
Yes,
advice. No solution, but advice. You
yes.
know?
And
And
I,
you don't need to
I'm
hear
not
that
doing with it.
sometimes. Sometimes you need
No,
to listen or a kind word or something.
let me tell you something. These past 4 years, I buried my mother, my
Yeah.
grandmother, and my father in 1 year. In a year, 11 months' time to the date,
Shonda,
they died. And I
my
had a
Lord.
transplant. Okay? So I was going through all kinds of everything. And they was like,
I know what you mean.
are you depressed? Oh my God. There's so many things I said to them. I said, appropriately so. The three
Yes.
main, my strongholds
Your
have left this earth.
anchors. That's
Right.
right. Your
They're
support,
gone.
your backup. Yes.
Exactly. And I'm
Mm.
trying to climb up and down the steps. And for yourself, when you get a transplant, you at the hospital every other day, taking blood,
Come
seeing what
on.
your levels are.
What?
And especially me, I don't know how well you felt, but like I told you, I felt bad. I went down, I was a big woman. I was 236 pounds. I went down to 138 pounds.
My
So,
Lord.
all that weight off. Thank God for my Aunt Tanya, who came from
Yes.
Ohio, stayed
Yes.
for 2 weeks. My Aunt Candy came from
Yes.
Philadelphia and
Mm.
stayed for 2 weeks. So for the first month, I had someone here to
Yes.
basically just scoop me up, get me
Right.
downstairs to distress a ride and get to the doctor's office. You know,
Yes. I deal
you
with them
know,
too. Yeah. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
horrible. Horrible. Get there, sit there all day. I would have to be transfused. My blood count was low. This count was low. So I'm in the hospital from 8:30 in the morning to 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
Ooh.
sometimes later. Oh my God. All that they try to eat.
Yes.
They get everything I wanted. I couldn't eat a thing.
No
All I
way.
could do was sip some tea, have a bite of toast. That's all I could do. That's all
Yeah.
I could do.
Yeah. Your appetite is different when you have the transplant. It's different while you on dialysis. It's different before you
Yeah.
get on and when you need dialysis. All of those
Yes.
are so many different diets.
It is. It
Wow.
is.
Wow.
And right now, I was just hospitalized over Father's Day weekend. They
Ooh.
couldn't get my pressure up.
Mm,
76 over 43. They were like,
mm.
no, you gotta go. Of course, you know me, being hard. No, I'll go home. I have some potato chips. By Saturday, I said, I better go. And
I'm glad
pressure
you
just
went.
low. So now I'm on blood pressure medication again to bring the pressure back up, and potato chips and all these things that you
Yeah.
really shouldn't have. But that's what I'm saying. People don't understand that the diet you go, like you said,
Yeah.
pre-dialysis, during dialysis, post-dialysis. Is your pressure too high?
Oh,
Is your pressure
transplant. Yeah.
too
Yeah.
low?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Post-transplant, it's crazy. It's
You
crazy.
you can pass out with that low blood pressure. I used to pass out on the machine. I passed out in the street before. I passed out in church. They poured some juice down my mouth. Usually a
Uh,
bouillon cube used to help me at dialysis. They used to put that
right,
in the hot water and give that to us. And I had Doritos. I had some of everything trying to get the pressure up. Mine was
yep,
90 over 60, but that was normal for me. But that's a child's pressure,
right,
you know.
right,
So I know what
right.
you mean. I know what you
It's
mean.
just been, it's just been a lot. It's been a lot, and like I say, I know it's God. And when things get crazy, like I said, like last night, I called you. I'm like, when is it's just
Yes,
everything, But
I know.
I tried to stay on point because I was raised in the church. I know the Lord. I know He will bring me through. And what's
Yes.
going to happen is going to happen. And that's what I say. What's going to happen is going to happen. If you turn the TV on and it don't turn on, oh well, sing a
I know
song.
that's right. You do what
you
you're able to do. You do what you can, and you just try. You know what I mean? I always trying to think of a way to make money, or try to make of a way to make the money grow, because you limited with your money. Sometimes you limited with all the resources I help people with. I can't seem to help myself sometimes. But
That's what I
I
say.
have
That's what I think, Lisa. The same thing. I say to myself, all of these outreaches and everybody, it seems like everybody that know that have gone to whatever, nothing even related to the kidneys, anything, but whatever, I'm like, whatever link I gave them, it has always worked out. And I'm like,
yes.
I can't link up to anything that's
I
working
know
out.
that's right. You ain't never lied. Come on here. Come on here. But
Right.
God gonna still see us through that, and we're gonna have the last laugh. We truly gonna have the last laugh. Trust me.
Yes,
Trust me.
yes, I
We ain't
know.
going through all this for nothing.
I
You
know.
know?
I went to the church and I was able to do a little bit of talking. They gave me the mic and I told my story and I said, y'all, let me tell you something. Y'all to see me here and I try to go there looking pretty and done. I said, but y'all don't even know. When I get back home, I stand at the bottom of those stairs for 5 minutes saying, Lord, get me
I
up
know that's right.
them 13 steps.
I know that's
Oh,
right. I
God.
was crawling up mine. I ain't mad at
Ooh,
you. Me and my cane and me and my pulling. I ain't mad at you. I know that's right. I know that's
yes.
right.
I
And
could
that's
do
why when I
5.
go to church, I jump dead on the altar sometimes. They hear me crying, screaming. Hey, it's a hospital for us. Let
That's
God
it.
operate. Let him have
Let me
his
tell
way.
you. I do 5 steps, take a break.
Yes.
Go up the next 4, because that's where it curves at. That's another break. I'm telling
Wow.
you, I got it down to a science. I got it down to a science. So
Yeah.
it's like, when you have so many ailments going on, because I was, talking to a couple of people, and I was like, when I was on hemodialysis before, I was moving and shaking and traveling, and now it's like I do a little bit of something, but it's minimal. And they say,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
Vanessa, you have to realize, can you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
my
can
phone
still
is
see
doing
you.
something.
Yeah.
Okay,
It'll
you
do
have
things
to,
because people will call you. But
okay,
you did hemo, peritoneal,
yep,
in center, at home. You done it
yep.
all.
I've been
Wow.
there, I've done it. Yep.
But if you could change anything, or what would you do different if you could change anything?
You
Oh, you
know,
see. Uh-huh.
many people on me.
Uh-huh. You freezing up. I know we went over, but God is blessing this
If
this
you
this.
change it,
Mm-hmm.
what I eat, I try not to.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Because that's what I wanted to ask you. What would you change, or what would you say to somebody that's going through what you're going through? What would you say or do, or what advice would you give? Okay, maybe you'll come back on. But as you guys know, this is a tremendous thing that she's been through and went through, and she told a lot of it, and I had to have her to tell it, because that's what Vanessa.
Yeah, I'm back. I see you now.
All right, I ain't mad at you, girl. Now,
Yes.
what would you change or do different if you could do anything different?
Like I,
You know.
I would initially, like I said, I would have changed my diet first. I would
All
have,
right.
like when the doctors told me that that was the issue, to
Yeah.
watch your diet or whatever. You know, you
Mhm.
was young. I was younger, and I was
Right.
moving. I'm sweating. I'm sweating too, Lisa.
Yeah.
Um, um, I I would have started with that and maybe see if that would have slowed the progress, or maybe I would have started dialysis later on.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I would have done that.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Move back a
you know
little. Go
what?
ahead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Honestly,
see you now.
I
Uh-huh.
think I don't think I would have got the transplant.
Okay.
I was doing good with peritoneal, hanging out, coming home at night, jumping on the machine, getting off, going through my regular day, you know.
Yeah.
And I recently met someone also, and he was like, "What do you think?" I said, "Everybody got to make their own decisions." I
That's
said,
true.
"But me, I think I probably would have stayed on peritoneal, especially because the kidney that I received was from a 30-year-old who who I think he stroked out. I believe I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
but I think you try to get a kidney as close to perfection as possible.
Yeah.
I think that I should have waited for a better kidney as well. You
Wow.
know,
Well,
because
I had said no to about four. Well, one I gave away, and the other ones I was a intravenous drug user I didn't want. You know what I'm
oh
saying?
no,
But then I was on the way
right.
to the hospital one time. That fourth time I got it. But
Um,
my donor was a woman that had a heart attack, and she was around my age in her 50s. So
oh,
that's what I went through. But I understand that because things have changed. There are good things about the transplant, but there's challenging things too. I was very healthy on dialysis. I'm healthy now, but this bone thing with this osteoporosis and these pains constantly, I'm not
right,
liking that. I'm still trying to fix it. That's why I have to go out on disability to concentrate on that because it's not working while I'm working. But
right.
who would you give a shout out to before you give out the shout out? Who would you tell somebody out there, somebody that's going through what you're going through, worse or the same or what have you? What words of advice or love could you give them?
First of all, I have to say that my family, specifically my grandmother, we were raised in the church. My grandmother was a
Me too.
praying woman. You say that's your grandma prayed for you? My grandma prayed for me on many
Yes,
of things. So I always appreciated
my
my
mama.
family. As Dee Dee would say, we have
My
a large family, a
yeah,
very close family. I don't
yes.
care what goes on with us, we always had each other's back. So
Oh
I
yeah,
loved that support. But one thing I have to say, and I
yes,
think I really knew it because of my career. Know you need somebody to advocate for you, and get all of the information,
yes.
everything you can get about transplant, the pros, the cons, the
Yep.
pre, the post.
Come
Speak
on,
to people who have
preach.
gone through it, okay? Because they can tell you, these doctors and nurses, they're telling you from a medical standpoint.
Yeah,
Speak to
they on the other
somebody.
side. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Speak to somebody who has gone through it, who has gone with ups and downs. You understand? Because I have never I had hypertension, which was secondary to the kidney disease.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And my heart was fine because in order to get a transplant, Lisa, you have to
Yeah.
go through all kinds of tests and
Thousands.
everything was good. I believe, this is my own personal opinion.
I
I
ain't mad at you.
believe
Go ahead.
that this dialysis, this kidney and the medications affected my heart.
Wow.
Okay. I
Jesus.
believe that. And I mean, it's hypothetical, but with transplants, people receive whatever organ it is. People believe that you take on some of the characteristics of that individual who you receive the organ from. I mean, little things, even so much as
Mm,
even things that I didn't like as
right.
far as foods I eat now. And I'm saying, I wonder what, and even the temperament of that individual. And I asked the nephrologist if it would be possible for me to speak to the family members of that person, but that was their request to stay anonymous. So that
Right.
was fine.
They all
But
do that. You get to write a letter. That's about it.
right,
A
so
thank you.
right, just a letter, a thank you letter. Um, so I don't know if this individual was prone or family had heart disease. My family didn't have heart disease. You know what I'm saying?
My
I mean,
father's side did.
my father did have a cardiac arrest, but that was secondary to something else. Again, he didn't have heart disease. And I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
what was
Mine had
going
kidney and
on?
heart. Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
don't have no heart problem. Thank you, Jesus. No.
Well, listen, it's so, yeah, it's just, I think about everything because my mother was just living her life,
Yeah.
became ill, ended up on dialysis. She died of a cardiac arrest. Okay.
Yes.
11 months later, my father ended up on dialysis.
Woo.
Okay. And he died of cardiac arrest. And
Jesus.
I said, you know what? Devil, you a liar. We
Oh, it
got those.
stopped it right here. Hmm.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Right. Can you see me? I'm trying to get in the light,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I can see you, but yeah, it stops right here. It's cut off. He
Right
has no
there.
jurisdiction that way.
None. 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 And I cry. Because I think about that. I think about that. And I was like, some of my friends and my family members said, well, what was happening when you were just out? I said, I cannot even tell you. I don't remember one thing. But when I was in rehab, the missionaries came to see me. And there's an
Yes.
older lady, Mother
Hmm.
Harrell.
Yes.
And she said, you know what? You wasn't with us, but you wasn't gone. And she said, older
All right.
lady, this age, she goes, God had you in the palm of his hand. And
That's
she
it.
goes, when you get out of here, you have a testimony. She goes, and don't fool around and get all caught up and forget what God has done for you.
You haven't forgotten. You right here with
Oh my
me.
God.
You took the invitation. It took
Yes.
us a little minute, but we got here,
Yes.
didn't we?
Well, we got here. Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yes, we did. Is
Yes.
there anything you want to add or anything you want to say? Anything you want to give a shout out to or anything we
Well,
missed?
I think my thing is that I don't know where people's spirituality lies.
Yes.
Okay. To me, that's first and foremost. You got to
Amen.
have God in your life. You got to pray. You got to have faith of that mustard seed, because believe
Yes.
me, like you said, everybody was praying. I mean, New Life was praying. People's Baptist Church was praying. Friends
Yes.
and friends all over. And my
Yes.
aunt would send out a mass text daily because
That's
people were
right.
calling. And she said, I'll just wait. I will send everybody an update every day, every other day. And one of the things she said, I'm not sure how she put it. She said, you all can't physically be here, but you all can pray.
Oh,
And
I
that's
saw
what,
that. I had that, got that text too. Yes.
yes, just
Mm-hmm.
pray for Vanessa. And when a friend of mine who I had not seen, he knew I was sick. He came to the hospital. I was, just getting ready to leave ICU and go to rehab. He
Yes.
came here and he was like, girl, he was teasing me. He said, I said, God, this is Wendell coming to pray. And he said, God said, who, Vanessa, or get in line. You got so many people who are praying for her. He
Yes.
said, girl, everybody is praying
Mm,
for
prayers
you.
went up, up.
And I
They went
said,
up.
yes. And I
Uh-huh.
thank God. So I want to say thank you to those who prayed. And I prayed, to continue to pray, because it's
Amen.
not only myself and not only Lisa, but there are others who are going through what
Yeah.
we're
Plenty
going
of kidney
through.
warriors. That's right.
Yes.
Plenty of
So
transplant warriors. And the
that's
family.
all I have to say. I have to say to us, the transplant, pre-transplant, post-transplant, whatever your story is, just have faith. And
Amen.
and try. Listen, God put the doctors here for a reason. They're not here for no reason. God gave them the fortitude to learn, because believe me, many times my doctor, Dr. Salami, I call him Salami, it's Salami.
Yes.
He said, he said to me, he said, girl, you don't know. When I was awake, he goes, I thought you were, he goes, I just kept going. I kept going. What should have took 4 hours took from 7:30. I came out the operating room 7:30 in the morning. I came out 10:30 that night. They worked on me.
Mm.
And when my family saw me, they couldn't believe it was me. You
Wow.
know, I mean, like they say, I was so swollen from so much fluid that I
Yes.
pumped in and couldn't
Yes.
come out. I
Say it.
barely fit in the bed.
Yes.
Okay. And I appreciate my aunt again.
Yes.
Snook, she said she didn't want anybody coming in the room crying. She said, well, Vanessa ain't leaving us. So if
That's
you
right.
had to cry,
Don't act like you dead already.
that's
I
right.
hate that. Yeah.
Don't come in the
Don't
room
do you on the
crying.
ground.
And that
Yes.
was the rule. You could not come in the room. If you was crying and booing, stay outside the room.
Don't
Stay
bring that in.
outside the room.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
just continue to pray for
Most
you
definitely.
and all of us. Continue
Yes.
to pray. Stay strong. Have faith. Follow what the doctors instruct you. For the most
Amen.
part, they know a lot. That's like I
Yes.
said. That's why God has them here. But also be informed. Know about your
Yes.
health. You
Yes.
go,
Educate
whatever ailment
yourself.
it is, know
Yes.
about your health. Go
Uh-huh.
to your doctor. I
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I hate getting up, going, spend the whole day from the cardiologist to the gastroenterologist to this
Mm-hmm.
ologist, whatever
The
ologist. But I
ologist.
know, right, that they're
Yes.
there. So you
Mm.
go. And
Yes.
there is, I call her Mama Ingrid, a woman I met actually coming from a doctor's appointment.
Mm-hmm.
She came, we ended up in the same accessoride. And she was coming from dialysis, and I was coming from, at that time, a post transplant. And this woman, Mama Ingrid, I pray for her because they want to transplant her, and she is so confused about what to do. She keeps
Yes.
asking me what to do, what to
Yes.
do. I said, I can't tell you. Then when she missed me for those 10 months, and she finally got back, and I told her what happened, she really don't know what to do. I said,
Yeah.
but that was my experience.
Yeah.
So,
Every experience is
everybody
different.
is
Right.
unique and it's yours. That's
Yes.
your journey. But just
Yes.
be an informed warrior, as Lisa calls us. Be informed.
Yes, be
That's
informed.
it.
I, girl, I love you. I thank you for coming on, and we're gonna be working together any old way.
Yes. Yes.
So thank you for telling it. Thank you for being. I'm
Yes.
sure the other shows that's on here gonna want you because your story is so powerful. Even though you said it
Yes.
here first, all of us are family. All of us are one. So whichever way this story gets out, it gets out. I hope they share
Yes.
it, learn something
Yes.
from it, jot it down, write it down. But thank
Yes.
you for being on. I'm
You're
going to end
more
this
than
show
welcome.
if there's nothing else. And
Yes.
to God be the glory, to the total
Yes.
glory. And I thank you
Always.
again. And you keep up the good work. You keep up the
I
fight.
will. Yes, you too,
General,
my dear.
yes,
Yes, baby.
General,
Yes.
and thank you. And God bless. And just keep up the good work,
Yes.
and I appreciate you.
Yes.
I
All right.
appreciate
I
you.
love you. Next time.
All right. Good night. And I'm going to end this show. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Was that a story? Did I tell you? I promised you that you was going to get the goods. You were going to get the nuggets. You was going to get the gold. You was going to get the 411. I'm telling you, that was something else. When I heard it, when I saw it, and when I seen her live it, now she said it. So thank you for coming on, tuning in. Thank you for sharing this, and thank you for learning something. You know your girl love you. You know your girl care about you. Always praying and always got your back, giving you that 411. Have a great evening, and thanks once again. Peace and blessings. Bye.